Good day to our dear students. I am Marian C. Ramitere, Junior High School Teacher of Cabanatuan National High School, your teacher presenter in Mathematics 7. Today, we are going to discuss the lesson for Quarter 4, Week 1 entitled Introduction of Statistics and its Real-Life Application. Today's MELCS or most essential learning competencies are the following. Number 1, the learner poses real-life problems that can be solved using statistics. And number 2, the learner formulates simple statistical instruments. Statistics plays a big role in our daily lives. Here are just a few examples. In education, it is frequently used to describe the scores of the students. Business owners can provide better product at a reasonable cost by statistical quality control techniques. In science, the data resulting from experiments must be collected and analyzed. Contagious diseases are controlled through analysis to anticipate epidemics or pandemics just like COVID-19. Those are some of the situations where we can use statistics. But what do we mean by statistics? Statistics is the branch of mathematics that deals with the collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. There are two important terms in statistics. One is population, and the second one is sample. Population is a set of all objects like people, animals, measurements, events, happenings, or anything that one wishes to make conclusion on. Sample is a subset or a part taken from a population. Consider this example. As to the population, we have the set of grade 7 students who wants to become a soccer player, while the sample is just the 3 selected soccer players. In real life, we might encounter many problems. To solve those problems, we may have the series of questions. And if you are going to investigate these questions, some of these are statistical and some are not. What do we mean by statistical question? A statistical question is one that can be answered by collecting data that may vary from each other. This means that not all the values of the data are the same. There are two types of data. Number 1 is qualitative or categorical data, and the second one is quantitative or numerical data. Qualitative data can be separated into different categories that are distinguished by some non-numeric characteristics. For example, gender, religion, marital status, eye color. Quantitative data consists of numbers representing counts or measurements. For example, weight, height, numbers of siblings. Moreover, quantitative data is categorized into two. One is discrete data and two is continuous data. Discrete data results from either a finite number of possible values or a countable number of possible values as 0 or 1 or 2 and so on. Example, number of siblings. Continuous data results from infinitely many possible values that can be associated with points on a continuous scale in such a way that there are no gaps or interruptions. They often include fractions and decimals. Example, weight and height. Statistical questions are questions that should have different answers. It can be recognized if the answer is a percent, range, or average. What if someone will ask you this question? How old are you? This question is not statistical because it has an exact answer. But we can rewrite this question into a statistical form as, how old are the students in this classroom? Now let us try this. Determine whether the question is statistical or not. Number 1, who is my favorite actress? The answer is Not is statistical because it has an exact answer. Number 2, what are the favorite colors of the grade 7 students at Cabanatuan National High School? The answer is statistical because it has many answers. Number 3, what is the favorite food of my grade 7 students? The answer is statistical because it has many answers. Number 4, what is my favorite dress? The answer is not statistical because it has an exact answer. And number 5, how many brothers and sisters does my classmate have? The answer is not statistical because it has an exact answer. There are also types of statistical questions. These are summarizing question, comparing question, and relationship question. Now let us identify the type of statistical question here. Number 1, how many hours per month do students in special science class spend studying? This is a summarizing question because the average number of hours spent studying is an example of summarizing question. Number 2, do the students in special science class spend more time at sports than studying? This is a comparing question because the number of hours spent in sports versus the number of hours spent in studying is an example of comparing question. Number 3, do students who spend more time playing sports do better in exam? This is a relationship question because it talks about the relationship between the time spent in playing sports and the result of the exam. Statistical instruments are devices used by researchers to gather data. This can be done by using survey method, registration method, and observation method. Survey method can be applied if one is soliciting information for a purpose. It is important since analysis will be based on the data collected. Therefore, it must be done as accurately as possible. Data may be gathered by using the following. It could be an interview or direct method. Interview or direct method is completed through a direct contact with the respondent. The person asking questions is called the interviewer, while the person giving the information is called interviewee. The interviewer gathers information by asking questions to the interviewee. Or it could be a questionnaire or indirect method. Questionnaire or indirect method can also be used in conducting surveys. The researcher prepares a written questionnaire to be distributed to the respondents either personal delivery, postal mail, or online. The researcher can save time and money in gathering the needed information because it can be distributed and completed by a large number of respondents. Number 2 is registration method. This method is governed by laws. Registers and licenses are particularly valuable for complete enumeration. This method is reliable, but the data are limited to what are listed in the document. Example, the number of births is registered in the Philippine Statistics Authority. The information given by the PSA is reliable, but those people who are not yet registered are not yet counted. Number 3 is observation method. Observation method can be used if the data gathered is through direct observation of a person known as investigator, of the one being observed called the subject. Under observation method is experimental method, which is usually used if the researcher attempts to understand the cause and effect relationships. There we have it. We have learned the introduction of statistics and its real-life application. Thank you for watching. Again, this is Mary Ann C. Ramitere. See you on our next lesson.